Hey, get the payday. You want Canelo Alvarez to take a pay cut to fight in Mexico, says Eddie Hearn. That's what I want to talk about in this video. Let's talk about it. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Now, the capery begins. Eddie Hearn did a recent interview, and he says, quote, "I think Canelo would like to do a fight in Mexico, but it's a pay cut. We are thinking somewhere in Guadalajara, but it's still a big difference when you look at the gates." Hearn continued by saying, John Ryder beat Danny Jacobs for a load of money in February last year, did a deal with George Warren for a load of money to fight Zach Parker with Frank Warren. And he says, thank you very much. And now he's going to get a Canelo Alvarez fight. I said to him, if you beat Danny Jacobs, wow, you're going to make a fortune. And then I couldn't get anything going for him. Then the Zach Parker fight came up, which was a little bit of luck, really, and he won it. Now, hopefully, he's going to get the Canelo fight, but there's still a bit of work to be done. I think this week, hopefully, we can announce. So, rumor has it that Canelo could fight John Ryder. My thoughts on the fight: hated it, trash, basura. I mean, Eddie Hearn, he's going to try to sell it because he wants to say in Canelo's good graces and have this bromance with Canelo. I am a consumer. I'm not a fan of the fight. But the interesting thing about what Eddie Hearn is saying is that Canelo would fight in Mexico at a pay cut. So to me, that further illustrates that there's no actual demand for this particular fight. How can Canelo go to his backyard, his hometown, and possibly fight in Guadalajara, Mexico, and he would have to take a pay cut? That doesn't even make sense to me. For example, Floyd, he's from Grand Rapids, Michigan, but his adopted home was Las Vegas. Floyd never had to take a pay cut to continue fighting in Las Vegas because he's the cash cow. So to me, it's more than meets the eye. And when you're listening to Eddie Hearn, you got to take it with a grain of salt because he's not going to say anything that he feels makes him look bad or whatever. So just bear with me. Canelo Alvarez, that's showing you that he's not picking the fights that people want to see him in. Because, first of all, from a business perspective, how would Canelo call the shots and do the fight in Mexico if it's not advantageous for the whole business? So does Canelo run Dazn and Canelo does what he wants no matter what? Or do you put it in a market that actually makes sense? That's one question. Two, if he was bringing a fight like Canelo versus Jermall Charlo, like Canelo versus David Benavidez, why would he lose money at the gate? So to me, I call cap on this. I firmly believe that Eddie Hearn is just jawsing and selling wolf tickets. And I believe that DAZN is not opening the purse books for Canelo to have these quote unquote adventurous no-hoper fights that no one is really requesting. That's the only reason why I would see a pay cut would be needed, because you're not fighting the people that really generate money that people would want to see you fight. You didn't hear about Gervonta Tank Davis or Ryan Garcia got to take a pay cut to make Tank versus Garcia. So we're only now hearing about this with Canelo's next fight, which they're rumoring could be in his backyard where he's from in Mexico. There's really no reason for him to take a pay cut. Floyd Mayweather fought Robert Guerrero and got $32 million guaranteed in Las Vegas. Why would Canelo need a pay cut to fight? Because he's fighting an unheralded, unknown guy. Eddie Hearn saying he beat Danny Jacobs, but I watched that fight. He really didn't beat Danny Jacobs. Politics beat Danny Jacobs, just like politics beat John Ryder when he fought Caleb Smith. Anybody who knows boxing, go back and watch those fights. John Ryder should have beat Caleb Smith just the same way Danny Jacobs of New York should have beat John Ryder in his backyard. But that's what happens in the sport of boxing. Judges oftentimes don't get it right. But as far as Canelo paycheck and a pay cut, that stipulates that Canelo is no longer that fierce, opponent and aura in the sport of boxing. And I told you this before he lost to Bivol. I said that Canelo, his whole wave is disintegrating right before your eyes. People got mad. The Chupapi Muñeños was mad. It was like, oh, Igor, you hating on Canelo, this, that, and the third. But you're seeing it. The boxing game is getting real. Like, it's getting to the point where people are speaking with their wallets and their purses. If they don't want to see a trash fight with Canelo and John Ryder, that's what they're going to speak up. So now they got to put it in these UK or in Mexico because they know you can't put that in Vegas and expect good numbers, and it's going to be a financial flop. And now I think Dazn is finally starting to realize that they got a lemon. They took the car off. They got this Canelo. It was supposed to be the fastest sports car with the shiny red paint, and they took it off the lot, and they found out it has all these problems, and it's really a lemon. What do I mean? Canelo's a good fighter, but I told you, they want to make him the Mexican Mayweather, and he's not good enough to be that. He doesn't have the spark and the personality and the charisma to sell an event. He'd rather golf and blow his daughter kisses and stuff, which is cool for like pastimes and hobbies, but at the same time, that's not going to put butts in seats when people keep seeing pictures of you golfing. You got to build a buzz and excitement for your event. That's why you guys see Ryan Garcia. You see guys like Tank Davis. They're making it exciting both when they fight, but also in the buildup. Canelo don't really do that. He don't really spice it up. The closest would be Caleb Plant, and that was on Showtime with PBC, and that actually did good numbers. So you see how far the entertainment value can go, even for a star like Canelo. You put Canelo in there with the proper dance partner, then the fight can do well, like David Benavidez, like Jamal Charlo, because there's probably going to be some back and forth banter and things like that. But for me, I think Canelo would be forced to take a pay cut because Dazn is finally waking up and smelling the Folgers crystals that he's not the sell that they thought he was. You know, they don't have the formula. PBC has the formula because they have dance partners and they build the fight with all accesses and better promotion and things like that. Canelo on his own, he can't just keep fighting British opponents that no one knows, no one really wants to see him fight and expect to generate money. And I think Dazn really got to see that with Canelo's very last fight against Gennady. Had no guy named Max's guys. They thought they struck gold with the Canelo Triple G trilogy. And just like I predicted, that fight was a bust. They said it underperformed in terms of pay-per-view sales. It under-delivered in terms of an actual fight. I watched the fight. And if you can't sell with a trilogy, with a guy you have history from and controversy from the first two fights, then how on earth do you expect to pay Canelo similar type of money, the 35, 40 million or whatever they were paying him before, whatever he got for Showtime and PBC to fight Caleb Plant for Undisputed? How can you expect that against John Ryder, who recently he should have lost to Danny Jacobs and no one in America really even knows who he is? That's why he's taking a pay cut, in my humble opinion. That's why. Because of the event, because of the promotion. Dazn is starting to come to grips with the fact that they got a lemon. And Canelo, you can't just slap his name on it and expect it to do these monumental numbers. It requires much more, because if that was the case, then he has history, like I just said, with Triple G, and that fight would have been a success. But mark my words, Gennady Golovkin Canelo Part 1 and 2 on HBO did substantially better. It did better than his fight on Dazn. So that's telling you something. The third fight, they took too long, whatever. Golovkin had regressed. The fight, had regressed. It lost its luster along the years. And Dazn tried to get it and capitalize, and they got it at a horrible point. That's why it did worse by the time they fought the three times. So what do you expect from a John Ryder who's lesser known and less regarded than Triple G? Because at least at the very bare bones, I didn't want to see Canelo versus Triple G Part 3, and I told you that. But at the bare bones minimum, you could say that, oh, the first two fights were close, so people could hold their head on the controversy from the first two fights because there was that inherent history. But with John Ryder, there is no real serious history other than in the Billy Joe Saunders fight when he was acting weird. You had John Ryder who was on standby, but he's not a sparky personality. There's no real serious history of beef or controversy between the two. It really has no selling point. That's why even if you put it in Mexico, they're talking about he has to take a pay cut. Again, if Canelo was really the Mexican Mayweather, he shouldn't have to take a pay cut. He should pay him 40 million or whatever you were paying him before if he's doing a hometown fight. But they know that hometown fight is a bust because no one actually wants this fight other than the people who want the fight. And I'll leave y'all with that. I'm the best in the business, and I'm out. Introducing Super Thanks. Right here on the official Boxingego YouTube. Super Thanks allows you, the viewers, to show a little bit of extra gratitude, which enables me as a full-time content creator to push out the content you need in the world of boxing. Underneath all the videos, you will see a heart with the $sign in it. You can enter any amount that you find suitable as a super thanks. A brand new, interactive, and colorful way to get your comments highlighted and noticed by not only myself, but other people on the YouTube platform. Super thanks, a unique and cool way to show and applaud us full-time content creators. Hopefully you guys enjoy the content. Super thanks. The future is now. The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, gym, or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation. Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TubeBuddy. I've used TubeBuddy for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TubeBuddy is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TubeBuddy and level up your channel faster. We working.